everyone, and welcome back to Cove Club, the one show where I get to sit down with every person of every single credence of creativity, except for that one thing. I am, of course, your host, and with me today are two starlets that I didn't even think I'd get a chance to do an interview with, of Miss Chloe Angel and Miss Nia.
Hi, everybody.
Yo, what's up?
Where, before we even get started, I'm just going to let you guys in on a fun fact where I was supposed to set up a double collab with Miss Chloe Angel for something, but certain things behind the scenes prevented that from ever happening that I'm still beating myself up about.
Oh, no, it happens. I've got lots of collabs and stuff that I'm like, guys, I'm swamped. So no, I completely get it.
Yeah, but I got something that I'm gonna probably talk to you and Nia about in the near future, but we're gonna pin that for later. Before we get started, this is the part of the program where I let both of you guys go down your credentials for everyone so they can get a grasp of the amazing individuals that I'm getting the pleasure of talking to today.
Nia, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first, Chloe. Why not?
Okay. Wait. I have a dumb question. Are we allowed to talk about the stuff that might not be appropriate to tell your parents? Or do we keep that like under wraps? I don't know if that was discussed or not. I'm sorry.
My rule of thumb is this. You can talk about anything as long as it's not something that hurts other people. If it's something that's like anyone can enjoy, I'm not going to judge. But if it's just like, I stomp on people's necks, it's like, nope, you gotta get out of here, officer. Get the fuck out. Just go. Get out of here. No one likes you. Go away.
No, I don't do any kind of that hardcore stepping stuff. Not too much. But what was I gonna say? I'm basically what you would call a not safe for work voice actress. I do the monies and the mic for, money and for entertaining others. Entertaining is a very nice word, I guess. But my credentials go from I got my start with it's a little more on the edgier side of things, but studio faux kind of things, or foul, however you call it. And I've voiced in a lot of animations and on the not safe for work spectrum of things. And yeah, that's mostly that's mostly what I do. I'm a professional idiot as well. Put that on my resume. Thank you.
I guess it's my turn.
Mm.
I've been doing I guess kind of similarly to you, Chloe. I've been doing not safe for work voice acting now for about 2 years now, and before that, I used to do a lot of phone sex operator work, so that kind of helped me get to the point where I am today, where I was just like, why? If I'm already doing it, why not try to do it and be in different things like animations and stuff like that? So um that kind of got me interested in doing that, and so I just do the same thing. I moan on the mic and I make people feel good with my
Mhm.
voice.
She makes me feel very good. Like, and it's not even like in a sexual connotation, but yeah, no, I love Nia. I love
Oh,
Nia.
and I love you
Ah!
too.
Sorry, you're gonna hear a lot of that, so I'm sorry.
I'm just imagining everyone's just like, wow, the host is in probably the most laughy threesome of his life. And it's like, no, I've been in laughier threesomes, but we're not going to talk about my sex life today. Um, so, for this interview alone, it wasn't just my assistant who set up this lovely interview. I'm still wondering how she did that. But it's also one of my editor's wives and one of my childhood friends that I helped deliver their child, where all three of them were like, we're going to make sure we get you a shitload of questions ready because we know you. We saw the Amanda Hufford interview. We know that you're a simp for beautiful women with lovely voices, so we're gonna make sure that you have all these questions.
That is really sweet. I like that. I had no idea how the whole logistics of this was, so that's really sweet to hear that.
I mean, it's kind of unnecessary because Nia already knows she's like one of my big crushes. She just kind of dangles it over my head, just like, you want my affection? I do, and then just pulls it away from me. I already know how the game works.
Oh.
So, anyway, we are going to jump into the first question, which is what I'd like to call the throwaway one that you get out of the way. What started your journey in the entertainment industry in the first place?
Me first, or do you want to go first, Nia? I'm sorry.
Oh, I can go. Well, like I said before, I was doing a lots of phone sex before, and so that was just kind of a gateway for me to do some more exploring into voice acting. And then I found the community of not safe for work voice actresses and actors, and I just wanted to be a part of that. So that's how I got started. Well, really too, I found another thing too is that I found I found online like a lot of audio porn, or that there was more recordings for it rather than it being live. And sometimes I struggle with it, having to always do live sessions. And so when I found that there was a whole community of just recorded audio porn, that was also very interesting for me as well. And I first came across that on online on Reddit, and it's just kind of grown into what it is now for me, um, by recording audios and all sorts of other fun stuff. So yeah.
uh, I guess if I have to answer truthfully, mine is not as like I can't even think of the right word for it, but essentially how I got my start was back in 2000 and I think 15 or 14, somewhere in there. And I was a big fan of Studio Fow's work. And I think this was back when Tumblr was still in, pretty good standing. And I remember I followed their Tumblr and I noticed that they posted a casting call, and I was just like, "Man, like, I really love their work. I'm just a filthy degenerate, as you are going to maybe find out, maybe you don't wanna find out." But, so I entered in, my audition for their casting call. I think it was for their BioShock thing, BioShack, and, I didn't get the main part, of course, but, um, the head honcho of the whole operation, he was really nice and was just like, "Hey, sorry you didn't get the part, but I really wanna have you on for other stuff," and, from there, it just kind of snowballed, and I had to take a break, I think, for about 2 or 3 years just because of personal stuff, but back in 2019, I was like, "Shit," like, I lost my job, and I love voice acting, and I just got right back into it, and I'm back. I hope that answers the question. I'm sorry if I rambled.
One, never apologize for rambling. I do that constantly on this show. You can see all the other episodes. I've done it. Co can attest. I ramble. Next question on the tablet. I'm just doing that because it's just a simple slider, just trying to make myself feel like I'm having fun rolling down a Rolodex. Second question that is typed up is, what would you deem is your funniest role, and what would you say is the role you've had the most fun with to date?
I need to think about this one. Uh,
Yeah. Honestly, for me, I haven't really been in too many well, it's hard to answer, I suppose, because I haven't really been in too many animations or a lot of projects. So I haven't had to necessarily act or have any character roles, so to speak. yet. Hopefully that changes soon. I am trying to get myself out there and audition more so that I can say that I have had varying parts, but I don't think I have one quite yet, but I hope that changes soon.
I definitely think it will. If anything, I need to get you in on stuff with me, but I like I said, I just haven't had time. So in the future, it will definitely happen. um, I might have a better answer. I'm just really trying to struggle to think because I think of like funny stuff that I've said or funny stuff that I've had to do in order to get the takes that the creator wants. The two that I can think of that are the funniest is one where I had to basically kind of like talk with my mouth full, like basically like this, and it was just really funny because when I recorded it, it's just like, are they trying to be sexy or is this trying to be funny? The implication of the mouth being full, what I'm trying to say, but that might have been a possible one. But then there's one recently that I did where the animator was kind of wanting to do a Princess Peach thing, and like the way the lines work is that she'll go from talking like this and then she'll do like really like just like polar bipolar personality thing, and it was really fun to do. But that's probably my funniest role, but the most fun role is the one that I'm working on now with Ludfrago. I'm basically going to be playing the character of Mona, and I don't want to spoil too much, but she kind of comes across as a milfy character if you kind of just look at her design and you kind of like get that implication that she's this, but she's so much more than that. And like Lude is basically like trying to say, there's more fun to this character, and I'm just kind of having like a fun time, you know, doing all these different things that I did not expect I was going to do for this, but it's been a blast. So, yeah.
And I'm so excited for you in that role too.
Oh my
I'm so excited when I
god.
heard you got it.
Thank you. I wake up every morning and I'm just like, holy shit. I got Mona. Like I was so excited, and I'm very thankful. I can't begin to describe how thankful I am. And Lude's been just a oh my god, you're just a sweetheart. But I'm sorry, I was getting off topic. I apologize.
You're fine. You're fine. Next question here. This is like one of my more fun ones. I kind of like to. Well, unlike a lot of different interviews, I like to kind of get a little bit on a more personal note so I can have people know that you can hear these voices, but remember, these are people. You don't just throw money at them and it's just like, you gotta do whatever we say because this is word of law. These are people. I mean, you could do that to robots, because no one cares about robots. They have no soul. But people is a different story. I don't know why I had to explain that, but I feel like because people don't understand me these days, I gotta explain everything. So, I want both of you, if you want to kind of like walk us through a day in the life of being both Chloe and Nia. It could be from the before times when it wasn't an apocalypse where everyone was just dying, being stupid, or it could be now where we're kind of just locked in places because people are stupid. It's kind of just up to you whichever direction you want to go in.
Okay. You want me to go first, Nia?
Yeah, sure.
I'm super boring in this regard. I guess a day in the life of Chloe, the real life person behind the persona. I basically work from home in this current timeline or this, current situation. I do a lot of overtime these days, but when I am done, if I have the energy, I'll try to do voiceover work afterward, but I am married, so I have, responsibilities of, being a daughter, a wife, and, doing all those other kinds of things. But I mean that's generally what I do. I'm kind of doing a regular job and a side hustle. So I'm sorry that my answer's kind of boring.
Well, that sounds like a busy one to me.
Ugh. Ah,
Well, my, I guess a day in the life of Nia, I suppose, would be, well, I wake up and I usually have a handful of DMs to get back to people reaching out to me for commissions and stuff like that. So I try to answer as many as I can those, and then I'll try to get some writing done if I can, if I'm feeling in the mood to, because for me, for me, writing is kind of a, well, it's just one of those things that I do have to be like really focused and in the mood to do. Like the setting has to be right. So if I can get the setting and the mood right, I'll do some writing, or I'll record, or I'll edit. So I usually um, I'm working on that because I do this full time, and I do have platforms that I have my audios and stuff on. So I am always working on trying to figure out what I am going to do next, what's going to be the next thing I'm going to release, or the next project that I'm going to work on. Um, so I'm usually focused on that quite a bit. So I'm usually juggling that with my home life and all the DMs that I get asking me to do, and to do all sorts of different things. So, but that's about it.
that's the dream life right there. That's the life I want. Ah,
I swear, every time I ask this question, I'm just kind of fascinated more and more with each person. Cause, like, I know for you guys, it's just you feel like it's boring, but I'm one of those people that enjoys like the smallest things, and like very simple lives to me are way more extravagant to me than all of my friends that are rich with millions of dollars to waste and have all these country homes and just like, oh, we could pay for your rent if you just want to just... No, I don't want people to pay rent for me. I'm a grown, independent man. Leave me alone.
mhm,
I get it. Though I
mhm.
wouldn't mind if someone was paying my rent. I have to say, I have to disagree with that one. If I was getting my
All
rent
right.
paid, I'd be quite comfortable, actually.
Just be like, yo, you want to slip me some, Patreon? Then I can quit my full time job and live the dream with Nia, and we just like write all the time, and then I get on her nerves. No, I'm just kidding.
I like how you guys are stating this, but I'm just one of those people where I've had people say, I will literally pay you $500 a day not to go to work. And it's like, no, I don't want you to pay for me. Because I don't like feeling as if people have to pay my own way. I've had that happen earlier in my life, and that's bitten me in the ass. I'm not going to do that again.
That
Yeah,
is a valid
yeah,
point. It
it
depends
is.
on who does it.
Yeah, it's very situational. It is,
Mhm.
because there are several situations that you don't want to be like you're asking for too much, or too dependent on someone else that can, take it all away from you, and so it is very, very situational. So I
Mhm.
do understand.
Yeah. But anyway, before people just start hitting me up in like DMs that I don't answer because I sold my Twitter about who can I ask for these thousands, if not millions of dollars, y'all ain't gonna get nothing. Moving on to the next question. Uh, oh, this is another kind of fun one. Because I usually kind of ask this back when I used to work on the set as an extra for Law and Order SVU, one of the worst jobs of my fucking life, if I'm honest. Um, I kept asking this of like the other extras whenever we were just waiting for the next scene. We were standing in the middle of a super cold New York street, waiting for Mariska Hargitay and goddamn Ice-T to get on the fucking set. I'm not bitter. Uh, what would you describe is the ultimate dream role? Like the one role that you want, that you only feel like that is the only role that will cinch it for your career. It could be like you can do many other roles afterwards or before, but it's that one role you want that's like, my job's complete. Like, I honestly like asking this from actors because there's so many answers I love that I still like to get more answers for, you know?
Unless you want to go first, Nia. I don't mind answering first if you
Oh,
need
you
some
can go
time to think.
first. Yeah, I need some time for this one.
Cool. Am I allowed to give more than one answer, or does it has to be just one, right?
I mean, if you have multiple, I'm not gonna say no. I can't say no to an angel. That's a crime.
Fallen angel, come on now. You gotta stick to the lore here. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so the three that I can think of, probably would be if I was like in an official like Jill Valentine role, because she's a lot of what I do in terms of animations and stuff. But if I actually did like an official Capcom thing, I wouldn't have to do like it, I would be just smitten with that. I wouldn't be. I feel like I would reach my goal. Originally, my answer used to be like a Fire Emblem game. Like if I was in a Fire Emblem game, like even just as like a supporting character, I would just be like over the moon. Or I think actually that might actually be it. But maybe in something like a lead character in an anime or something. I don't know, what exactly, but I mean, any of that would be awesome.
Okay, well, I was just thinking. I got to thinking because I really couldn't think of one. I really couldn't think of one there for a moment, but when I really got to thinking, I think that if I could land any role, I would just really love to be in a video game. And I think the game that I would really, 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 really love to be in because I play so freaking much of it would be League of Legends. I think that
Mm-hmm.
if I was like in a role in League of Legends, I think that my heart would finally become one and then I can just die happy. I think that's
Oh,
what it would take. Yeah. I think that's what it would take for this little
I love
succubus
that
heart.
answer.
I think so. I think that would be enough.
Oh, oh, damn it! I want that. I want that for you so bad. Oh my god, that would be awesome.
That would be.
I would main you all the time. I would never main any other. I would buy all the costumes.
Oh, you're making my cheeks get so red.
Oh, I did a good today. Chloe.
Sorry. Oh, my heart just feels so full with this answer. I'm gonna go to bed just like thinking about and just praying to God damn man, I want that. I want that for Nia.
I would totally love that. I would love to play myself too.
True.
I would.
I mean,
I would
yeah.
love to play myself because, I don't know. That would be the one thing. I don't get, like I said, I'm not in a lot of different animations and stuff like that. But if I was in this one thing, that would be it for me. I'd be happy.
I get you 100%.
Yeah.
All right then. Man, I swear every time I ask this question, I keep getting great answers, except for that one time. But we're not gonna talk about that. Gonna go to the next question on the roster. I don't know how I'm gonna ask this one. Because it's not a bad question, it's just very odd, and something I just never think about anymore.
Okay.
So, okay, so, unlike Chloe, Nia knows what it's like to kind of work for me at 5%. 5% of me is weird. It's like you barely get enough of me on the surface that you don't know it's underneath everything.
Mm-hmm.
So this is definitely a question from my editor's wife, where they're asking, how would the two of you feel if I was your director, but you got 100% of me? Not 5% of just like, here's just the skeleton and just slight meat of a script, like everything I've ever actually written in my life.
The question was like, how would we feel about it? Is that kind of the general gist of the question?
Basically, yes, because not a lot of people have worked with me, and I've heard a lot of people just make a bunch of assumptions like, I heard he's very mystical, I heard he's insane, I heard he just sits there and eats mayonnaise. And I'm like, what was that last one? Why would I eat mayonnaise? What is this?
Mayonnaise is pretty good. I mean, I come from the South. Mayonnaise goes in everything, so I have no judgment there.
But it's like that one random thing of like, I heard he eats mayonnaise all day. It's like, what, how, what?
Wow, that would be an interesting thing to eat. I can't.
You
say I'm
have a
huge
script
fan.
about mayonnaise for us. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I guess to answer the question, I mean, I would be thrilled. I mean, you know, I'm happy to work with different kinds of personalities and stuff. And I apologize that I'm probably, definitely more on the ignorant side of the, of that question. But I mean, I'd be thrilled. I'd be tickled.
Yeah, we have worked on a couple of things in the past, and I don't have any strange tales to say afterwards.
No
And
mayonnaise tails? What is it? No.
I don't
I'm
actually.
kidding.
So,
I'm sorry.
so I think it would be really fun. I think being able to work on a project with me, you and Chloe, I feel like that would be amazing. I mean, I feel like every one of us is very creative and very talented, and I think that whatever it was that we would work on together, it would be amazing because we're all on it. And so that's all there is to say.
I want to change my answer to that answer. Just forget everything that I said. Make me say what she said.
Nia, you are too sweet, but you have no idea what working with me at 100% is like. I am a madman with a lot of scripts.
Oh, well, I do know you have a lot of scripts.
Like, Dorn has worked with me at 100%. She could tell you stories.
I've talked with people that do have a lot of scripts, so I mean, that doesn't intimidate me.
Oh, no. People that I know from the current era, they just write stories. I write scripts.
Think I get what you're saying. I think I'm with you.
It's like a different weight class here.
Are you meaning that they're just really long or they're very structured?
I'm just saying, they write stories. I write scripts. I ain't gonna say no names for why I'm stating this. But I'm just saying, there's a weight class difference. Anyway, before I get in any more trouble, let me go on to the next question. Well, this is just a very kooky kind of question.
Kooky is good.
I say kooky because it seems like every single letter on this is just like one uppercase, one lowercase, one uppercase, one lowercase. Like,
wow, that's pretty strange. That's quite strange there.
I don't know who typed this one up. I'm pretty sure I know who did. Anyway, the kooky question is, what would you do if you woke up one day? Like, it could be like tomorrow, it could be like 3 months down the line. I'm not going to say nothing. It's not like I can see the future anymore. But You just wake up one day and you automatically get hit up with so many messages because you instantly became famous. What would you do and why?
Well, I guess it would depend on with this newfound famousness, is there also an increased amount of money in my bank account, or am I still staying at the same amount of money that I'm in my bank account currently, and I'm just finding out that I'm internet famous?
That is a fair question.
Fair follow-up question.
Let's go with you're making more money because the attention being brought to you.
Okay. Wow. Well, then that brings me to my second follow-up question. Now, am I
Nia is thinking big brain. I am tiny brain level right now. I'm like,
am I making this as a residual income, or is this an active income that I'm going to have to now do more work for?
Nia, this is why I miss talking to you. Like, we need to reconnect, but I'll also get why we don't chat as often. It's because of me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, it's not that.
I know, honey. I know. Let's say it's the active income, and you're making more money.
Okay, so then I am going to have to do more work now. Because the thing is, if I wake up and I have like a bunch of DMs and like a bunch of like attention and everybody's buying my stuff, and I have gained so much popularity or internet sensationally, I'm just doing amazing. And if I woke up to that, but in turn it required me to have to do even more and more and more work, I would be happy to be given the opportunity to be able to be given more work. But then at the same time, now I'm not going to be able to enjoy all my time. I'm not going to be able to enjoy my free time. So that's why it's like, if it's residual income, say that I have a clip store and my clip store is doing amazing and I can just continue to do what I do now, the luxurious life that I live now, then I would be like, I would definitely book a vacation like instantly. So it just depends.
yeah, she's got a point. There's a lot of factors that go into that decision. No, because you got me thinking. Because I'm sitting here like, okay, wait a minute. If that happened to me, and I'm not interrupting your question, right? I don't
Oh
want to
no,
like
you're good.
cut you off.
I'm pretty much done. I mean,
Cool. If you do want to add more, please. But like if that happened to me, like how you said, if it was like more active income, I guess the first thing, oh shit, is like where my current situation is now, and I have to explain my answer. And I'm sorry that if I ramble on this one, but like with my current situation, with a full-time job that I know is secure in terms of trying to, keep everything afloat. 'Cause but if I knew that I could make a living off of it, like if the sheer amount of work that came in, and I guess I would have to kind of feel, forgive my lack of better terms here, but feel around and be like, hey, I'm just letting you know right now my commissions are paused because I'm backed up. But if you can wait, if you can give me time, would you be willing to wait? Because a lot of it with me is waiting. Because I know that a lot of my commissioners that I work with, or my clients or whatever, I've kind of had to tell people that I've just been, busy with my overtime and, all that stuff. If there's that if there's that understanding that, that I have time, honestly, I would heavily consider quitting my job after talking to my husband. But I would heavily consider it, and if I knew that it could be stable, I would probably just go gung-ho and just be like, all right, fuck it. I want this, and I'm gonna go for it again. So
yes.
But, Dreams, man, dreams.
And I guess for me it's a little different too because I already even though I'm not currently making as much as I would like to doing this full time, but I'm already in a situation where I am doing this already full time. It's just not meeting the amount that I need to make so far to sustain myself at full time. So if I woke up tomorrow and then I was sustaining myself at full time and I'm just, kind of doing just probably a little bit more than I'm doing now because I have more eyes on my content, then I mean that would be amazing. I would be absolutely just I guess excited and happy. That's what I guess if I were to go viral or something like that, um I would be most happy if it were to be able were that I got popular or seen enough or enough people have liked my content enough to the point where I know that I am full time doing this and I'm also able to support myself full time doing it as well.
Exactly. I read something somewhere that, like, there's so many artists out there, and I apologize if this is getting too ranty, but this is just bits of information that I've been chewing on for the past couple days. Like, there are so many artists, like, just regular digital artists that are charging so low, and I feel like you and me, Nia, are in that boat as far as, like, having a lower price for the amount of work that goes into making the stuff that we do make. And, if we were able to raise our prices, we would probably be able to live off of doing it full time. But the fact that and this goes for, I mean, I'm not trying to say it in a negative way because there's so many unique voices and so many unique talents out there that obviously there's a big market, but the fact that there's so many people out there doing it, obviously you want to kind of not, you're trying to be a little bit competitive in terms of, keeping just having a price that's negotiable so that you can kind of get work and all that stuff. So it's like this weird balance. But I read somewhere that in this day and age, freelancers are charging too little, and it's just crazy. But
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
sorry
And
that.
well, you have a good point there, but and this is what I always like, and I'll try not to ramble too much on this because um, the way that I see my voice work and the way that I conduct my business is that as a content creator or any content creator, it doesn't matter if you're an artist or a voice actress or whatever you're in, if as they say that, and I don't know who the they is, but they say that all you need is 100 super fans to be able to live comfortably. And
Mhm,
so when you have certain things like your Patreon, or if you're making content like I do for like clip stores and stuff like that, where I'm not always focused on always being in animations, even though I really, really would love to be. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to be in some animations, but since my content is more driven around creating fantasy audios, um, you know, if I am able to find 100 super fans that are going to be able to support me in my audios, in my stores, and my Patreons, then I'll be able to live full time. And if you really think about it, I mean, even though there's all these people who are all doing the same thing and we're all doing the same hustle and we're all trying to get in the same animations and stuff like that, but if everyone only needs 100 super fans to be able to live comfortably, then there's
mhm,
really no need to be at each other's necks about certain things, you know what I mean?
mhm,
It's still good to be competitive because it still keeps it you're able to still, it's healthy because it still keeps you motivated for some people. But that's just one thing that you should just always remember is that all you need is 100 people who support you, and you can live your dreams. You don't have
mhm,
to be bogged down by the fact that everybody's going for the same thing, or how am I going to be able to do this? Like, no, just focus on yourself and focus on getting, building your portfolio up, and be ready for when the people do come to you.
mhm. That's that's the right way to look at it. Again, I apologize. My answer was not trying to come across as trying to be cutthroat. or anything like that. I
Oh
was
no,
just
no. Oh no, no, no. I get it. I get it because it's one of those things that everyone is just, we all want to be in these roles, and it can be pretty cutthroat when you are talking about auditioning. I'm just saying that there's several routes for us to all achieve the same goal.
hmm
So even if one route isn't working the way that you want it to, you know, just remember that there's multiple ways to get to that same spot.
and like you said, if you're working on the stuff that like your portfolio, the things that you're proud of, because that's true. If you're working on stuff that, either for your Patreon or just personal work that you feel proud of, something that you really want to do, if people kind of see that, they'll want to support you versus, support, But
Hmm.
yeah, I completely agree with you on that. 100%.
So yeah, just everyone out there who's trying to make content, just keep your head up and work hard for that 100 super fans.
Don't compare yourself to other people. Don't ever do that. That is just, God, do not fall into that pit trap. Ugh.
Right, right, right.
Mhm.
And it's a hard one to get out once you fall in there, and it takes
Mhm.
a lot of mental energy to get out once you fall
Mhm.
in. So that's why, at least for me, I just try to stay focused on, what I can do, what I have control over, not the things that I don't have control over.
Mhm. Or just making that content that makes you happy, gives you
Right.
that fulfillment. That's literally it. Like you said, kind of, keeping not really keeping your head down, but just kind of focusing on you and try to keep the noise out of it. Yeah.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Sorry for rambling there.
No,
With
I
a
like that
whole
question. I like that you and I were talking about all those aspects of it because it is so important to keep all of that, in mind and, everything. So,
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's like always try to like take your head out of the situation and then remember like the internet is a big place. The internet is a big place.
it is.
And even though it seems like a lot of us are in the same circles, there none of us none of us can ever have the coverage to cover the whole internet. So don't
Mhm.
ever think that there's not a space for you.
Mhm.
Don't ever think that there's not like a crowd out there for you. Don't ever think there's not somebody out there looking for what you're providing, as long as you're providing good content, because the internet is a huge place.
Mm, exactly. It's the and I'm sorry. I just wanted to say one more thing. It's that picture. I don't know if either of y'all have seen it, but it's that picture where um and it's kind of like on the same vein as what you're saying, but it's kind of like, you know, someone approaches a table and there's like this big, huge cake that kind of looks like a wedding cake, fancy, all that crap. And then there's like, a pancake, like, just in a pan that you make, out of the box. And here's the thing, I love cake. I don't care how fancy that crap is. If there is cake, I will consume it. So it's literally like, no matter in the terms of comparing yourself, don't do that because when you make that content, there's going to be somebody out there that enjoys it. It's kind of like
Mhm,
that same vein kind of thing. And I like you say,
mhm.
oh,
I'm glad we ride in the
sorry,
same wave.
sorry.
That whole time I had to knock out the next two questions because y'all kind of already answered what I was gonna try to ask anyway. So I was just sitting
Whoops.
back, just like, well, I don't even need to say anything anymore. Just gotta sit here.
I'm so sorry. When I get to like
Sorry.
talking, I can't stop. I can't stop. I was trying to be so good about talking too much.
Yeah, I love when you talk. Please do not stop talking. Please.
Oh, I try. I gotta like try to make sure I contain it, because I'm like one of those people that like I can just keep on going and keep on going, and it's like, man, is she ever gonna shut up?
No, I love it. I love it so much. Oh.
Okay, next question. Just gotta again skip over the two that you guys already answered for me without having me ask. Okay, this one is hard to read because there's like weird glitches on certain ones. I have no idea how this happened. For anyone that's wondering how I get all these questions on the tablet, they get typed up by one of my people that lives in Switzerland, where I also get people from both India and South America typing up stuff. They combine the emails and then send it off to me onto this tablet that they've jury-rigged for me that was made by one of my friends in Puerto Rico. After which I can then just kind of memorize. But then there's also these small moments where I have tech issues where one of these fucking questions is digitized and I don't know why.
Zeros and ones, zeros and ones, zeros and ones. Did I ever catch a missing no in Pokemon? The answer is no.
Okay, here we go. So I don't know if you guys kind of know this, but I technically own not one but two different independent studios, and I'm a CEO for a third that I'm not technically the owner for, but I own part of it. It's weird. Anyway, one of the few things that keep getting tossed my way is just you need to keep an eye on this person or that person, or you need to check out this demo reel or that demo reel. And I'm like, do I hate your guts? And they're like, no. Then they kind of show their ass, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do hate your guts. So, long story short, not me throwing shit at anyone, because I don't throw out names. That's a child's game. Who are some actors or actresses you guys personally would say are people that individuals like me should keep an eye out for numerous different projects on the horizon? Because I'm always trying to build stuff so that no one goes hungry, that no one has to go into the rat race. I'm one of those weird people that's like, I don't want people to fight for money. I want us all to get the money. If you just would calm down and not be at each other's throats like savages, if that makes sense.
Right. Well, there is enough money for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that that's something that it's hard for everyone to remember. Um, and like I said, I guess that kind of goes back to the whole "the internet is a big place" thing. But I am with you. I don't feel like we should be all fighting either. But as far as someone that I have noticed, to be quite honest, I took a couple of weeks off. Um, I guess what month is this? It was back in March. I had like a little bit of a COVID scare, and I've just been kind of like coming in and out, in and out. So I kind of feel like I'm not like up to date with what's going on as far as like seeing anything. So I would have to probably think a little bit more on this. Um, but oh man, I don't know about anybody that's like new and up and coming right now, that I could say, just because I haven't been online very much lately.
Oh, honey, it doesn't have to be up and coming. It could be in general, because I don't
Oh, in general.
I don't know everyone. If I did,
Oh, true.
I'd have a whole list of people I already know I want to hire and who I want to blacklist. My blacklist list is actually bigger than my hire list at this rate. Like, not you guys, but the VA community as a whole, kind of making me hate you a lot.
Well, I guess in general. Oh man, I don't have my phone on me. I have a name in mind, but I just can't remember how to say it.
If you
Um.
want, I can, while you're looking at your phone, I
Oh yeah,
don't
you go
know.
ahead, Chloe.
I want to preemphasize my answer and say that simply because of the fact that when it comes to collab work, I don't get to do it nearly as much, but I have been working on more audios where it's mostly male solo focused for women or for all genders. That's what I've been kind of producing and getting into. That's where my feedback is coming from because of just me working with them. And obviously this is just a new thing that's been starting for me, but I do want to say that Leo Greystone is very good to work with, very nice soul, very hardworking. I know he's like just overworked as hell, so I guess the fact that he's overworked shows something. But he's been good to work with, and I apologize that this is mostly male VAs, but Ivan Erection is also another guy that I've recently commissioned for a piece, and I've been going through the takes, and I'm just like, God damn, this is so good. Like, I have to, like, pause and, like, get me a drink of water because I'm, like, fucking sweating. Another good soul that does more writing more than voice acting. I think his name is Mr. Demo. I recently commissioned a writing piece from him, and I think he does editing, like video editing as well, but he's been really, good to work with. I think that kind of covers it. That's just stuff that I can immediately say, off the top of my head that I would totally be like, yeah, I like working with these people. But maybe in the future I'll have more to tell you. I don't know.
Okay, well, I guess now that I had a little bit of time to think about it, one person that I really do enjoy making content with, that I have to say, if I had to choose, I think it would be her name is Alyssa, Alyssa the comic book babe. I love her, and can you tell?
I'm working on something with her, and she probably hates my guts because my recording schedule has been so fucked, for lack of a better word. But no, she's great.
She is, and she is very, when it comes to making content and making sure recordings are done, she is very like, make sure you get it done.
Right.
But she's awesome, and she specializes in female muscle growth audios, and um she was one of the first people that I met in the community that also came from a phone sex operator background. So I felt like I connected with her like instantly, and was able to talk to her about a whole bunch of different things. And she is trying to get into more of the VAing side of it, as opposed to only doing the phone sex operator stuff. And I feel like a lot of people would really appreciate her if they knew she was out there. And so I am totally happy to be able to talk about her in this moment, and get her name out there a bit more, because I feel like she's
You're
awesome.
here.
And another person too that I really like is Princess Lil, and she does a lot of transformation type audios, and I feel like she is absolutely amazing at what she does. And I if you her she's just she's just really good. I always enjoy her work, and that's definitely another person to have on your list as far as looking for talent, I think.
Wholeheartedly agree. I haven't had any experience, so I apologize that I didn't drop those names, but I don't doubt that at all.
Yep. And then the ones you named too are awesome. I think Mr. Demo, I've talked to him a couple of times. He's amazing. And I've been in an audio with Leo before through another creator, and I really enjoyed that one. So I think that he's amazing too.
Right.
Well, that's definitely gonna help me with something I'm cooking up that I'm gonna talk about after the interviews come to a close. Not gonna be a surprise, or I'm gonna announce it to y'all later. I'm just gonna announce it first here, then do a video about it, I guess. I don't know. Thinking about it. Fuck around and find out and see what happens, I guess. Anyway, there are approximately God, I finally now have it all loaded. Y'all are not gonna believe how many questions are written up here. Like, just give me your best guess.
Probably like 30.
I was thinking kind of like 20.
87.
None the fuck? What? I'm sorry. Are there duplicates?
Nope.
Wow.
I can't ask that many questions. That's impossible.
I know. That's why I'm like, maybe it's the time that. Well, normally I would be like, we're gonna flip the tables, but today I'm not gonna do that whole flip the tables gag, because one, I don't really want people to all of a sudden think, so I'm gonna sit on a stool while Nia and Chloe sit on a big chair where one of them has to sit in the other one's lap. Where they have to share a microphone. That's just very weird.
Well, I wouldn't mind Chloe sitting on my lap.
Oh, I got my butt punched out. I'm ready to go. Oh.
So instead, we're just going to just subtly slide the mics around. Like, they get the nicer mic. One of my 3 mics. I own 3, almost 4 to 5. I'm buying 2 new mics by the end of the year. Where they...
That's a hip color.
Hey man, I've been doing this for a long time. I need more mics. Where they are the interviewer, I'm the interviewee. Where if you guys have seen the show by now, you get it. But if you're new, this is the format where, unlike most interviewers, I'm allowing the interviewees to become the interviewers to ask me whatever they want, where, unlike them, where I'm just like, I'll respect your privacy. You deserve it because you're beautiful. I love you. Maybe not in that way. Maybe a few of you in that way. But not all of you in that way. Where instead it's just like, y'all can ask me anything. I don't care. I'm transparent as fuck.
Just so that I get I guess the a comfortability thing. I don't know if Nia, if you have one that you want to ask first, because I'm kind of like, wait a minute, what are we allowed to ask?
Anything, like I'm saying.
Well, I guess how long have you been doing not safe for work voice acting?
That's the first time someone just specified not safe for work instead of how I started in general. Alright, so before I retired recently due to some actors I'm not going to say names about because that's a child's game. It all originally started when I was around 13. And I was with one of my exes that was years older than me, but I was their sugar daddy. Make that make sense if you want. I don't care. We're sitting down in our bedroom. I'm just typing some stuff up on Microsoft Word back when it was just dial-up internet. Y'all remember those days. And I'm just typing up some stuff out of nowhere where she's just going on and on about how her college professor wanted to... And that's how it started and recently ended.
Okay.
I like the French fry detail. That was definitely... I'm like, If
Can't let those French fries get cold.
Like everyone else has like romanticized stories. I'm just like, not that romantic. I'll tell you all the details about how fucking boring it was.
Well, now you've got to answer, or you've got to ask your question now, Chloe.
Yeah, I was just wanting to ask, kind of in the vein of that one question you asked, like, as far as like end goal or like end game, as far as reaching that goal that you feel like, you would be at the top of the world at that point. Like, you tell us what that is, or is it kind of just like, enjoying life kind of thing, or sorry if that was a poorly worded one.
Dear, it's fine. You're lovely. You're beautiful. I love you. Not in that way. Maybe. I don't know. Nia can tell you, me with affection for people is very powerful, but I don't know. Yet. Who knows? Anyway, I'm not making sense. So, my end goal has been the same thing it's been since I was 15 and I adopted my eldest daughter. I just want to build something to where, even if it's where I make cult classics to where not a lot of people understand until I'm dead, or until I'm like super old and I've forgotten all the stories, I don't care about my mark. I want to leave something to where my daughters and my grandkids are proud of me. Any person can build like a whole structure of, I want to be famous, I want to have my name out there, I want to do this, that, and the third. I've learned from working in the mainstream stuff of being a professional voice actor and stunt person and extra, I don't want to be mainstream. I don't want the fame, the money. The recognition would probably help, but I don't want it. I don't desire it. I don't chase it. I only chase whatever I need to do to all of a sudden leave a mark that my kids can be like, that's my dad. He made this stuff so that we could feel pride in our souls because that's our father. He did this for us. And whenever that fully happens to where they can pretty much shout it from the rooftops of the tallest building in the world to where everyone can hear them, then I can pretty much die happy right then and there. I don't need anything else. I don't need money. I don't need people giving me opportunities for stuff I don't care about. I don't need to go back in the mainstream. I don't need anything. I just want my kids to be proud of me.
Well, that's a really
That's great.
Really good goal to have for sure. I feel like that's, you know, really special to leave something behind for your children, because, you know, we only get to enjoy everything for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel you on it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a very noble answer. Very good answer.
It's the only answer I got. You know, the end goal I would have is just like, I want to just sit in a boat where no one bothers me for 24 hours. Why a boat, you might be asking? I will tell you.
Okay.
The biggest detachment I could think of is a boat, because being on a plane means someone has to be with me. If I'm just in a boat, no one has to bother me. I can just float there. No cell phone towers, no emails, no random person just being like, hey, didn't we see you with long hair in 2005? I don't have to worry about that shit. I can just sit there for 24 hours, unbothered. Let my beard grow out again. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Wow.
Being out on the water does sound pretty relaxing and serene, so I could definitely understand that.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to well, I have been having some peace and quiet lately. Well, not too much, but a little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. I just I mean, a boat sounds nice, but I'm just, I don't know. Like, I've been going to sleep lately with like raindrop sounds, and sometimes they wake me up because I think that it's actually like something leaking in the house. So I don't know if I could be completely at ease on the ocean and it's just like water sounds. Just I'm sorry, just so, like, I've woken up too many times, like, and like one time I woke up and there was like this water burst in my childhood home, and then when I woke up, the water was already to like my ankles. And then like in my adult life, I had another incident where it was like water leaking. So I'm like, water is like, I can't.
That's 100% understandable.
Curse you, water!
Water bad.
No, I like swimming, but I just like I don't like water in areas where I'm supposed to be like at peace because or at ease because there's I always like my I've had so many bad experiences where I'm like relaxed and then like now something is overflowing and there's water in the ceiling and whew, oh no, not on a boat. Oh god, not on a boat. Oh, my heart. I don't even think my heart would be able to take it.
In all fairness, the boat would have to be like in a big lake. 'Cause I can't deal with ocean. Ocean freaks me out. So I get that kind of like vein of the ocean scare part. I will say that.
But you
Yeah,
guys
I'm
got
so
anything
sorry.
else you'd like to ask? Because honestly, I can answer anything and everything. I don't care.
Did you happen to have one, Nia? I don't remember if it's your turn or not.
Oh, um, well, let's see. I didn't know I was gonna need to have questions ready, or else I would have had some already prepared for you. um, maybe, I guess what is your most like what is the role that you feel most proud of that you've had so far? Like one that you really feel like you gave it like your complete all to for the character or the role, whether you know it's safe for work or not safe for work, or the character that you most identified well with that you felt like you brought most to the table for, or two.
I can answer that in three parts. Favorite role I've done for Safe for Work that I never made was, and I say this to everyone, it was back when I officially retired from voice acting the first time, and I got this email from this guy that paid me, I think, like $3,000 to try to redub over an Indian slash Hindi dub of Disney's Aladdin. And I got to do the Cave of Wonders, completely in the same vein as Frank Welker. He only paid that much because his sister was dying of cancer, but was trying to find different voice actors that could bring to life what they enjoyed in Hindi and in India and a bunch of different stuff in India. I don't know a lot of languages in India, so I apologize to all the Indians out there. So we're kind of just getting some stuff together because me and my ex just officially broke up. I'm moving out of the apartment to then kind of go back to my house before people start wondering why I'm not in school. And I get the email saying that my sister, the guy, fully passed away, but she was in tears smiling over all of the people that were part of all these different dubs for these films, pouring their heart and soul into this for a complete stranger they don't even know. And how she was just so thrilled about Aladdin because that was her favorite movie with her brother, because that was the first movie that they watched when she was very little, when she passed away at the age of 12. And that goes down as my favorite safe for work role that I've ever done, because you don't get a chance like that ever again to just make someone's difference in their final days. Not safe for work, that's tough. But I think it's going to be a tie between the unfinished trilogy I was doing with Pretty Girl Diaries and I forget which collab it was, but something I did with you, Nia. Like, something about working with you guys especially, that just has a beaming light in my soul where I'm like, I feel like I could just do anything with you guys especially, because you make me want to not just do 5%. You guys make me want to do the whole big bang of a full-blown story with lead up and payoff instead of just like the bare bones, but I have to keep it 5% because I don't want to get too attached and then I get sad if it doesn't deliver.
Well, I feel that way about all my work anyway. That little bit of sadness when it's just like it, you know, you thought it was going to be a certain way and it wasn't. That's just kind of, I think that just happens with everyone as a creator. They're like all thinking things are gonna be a certain way, and if they don't make it to that point, then it's like, oh, I really thought.
Mm-hmm.
And
Very relatable.
yeah, and the role that I feel like I attach myself the most to, that's the hardest of all, because A, it's nothing I've ever read from any other person, because no one's ever written anything I feel like I believe in anymore. Is that a shot at a lot of people I work with today? No. No, I like what I do, like being an android in a Dragon Ball Z project, being a character in an upcoming animation thing, being in a motion comic in the works, blah, blah, blah. But the role and or roles that kind of I feel the most attached to are these two characters I'm doing for some shows I've written for myself that are based off of 2 out of 3 kids I lost with my ex due to child miscarriages. The first character I can think of is based off of a story that my uncle Toshinori told me about, and then merged with the eldest son I was supposed to have back in the day as this very stoic character that has all this stuff going for him, but after being raised in a lot of hardships, where it's like my actual history mixed together with the inspiration of a better future for my firstborn that was supposed to exist. And the second one is based off of one of the twins that I still can't let go of, where he's very snarky, very distant, but also super caring underneath, because he knows what it's like to lose people, in the same vein of how I felt when I lost him and his twin sister. To where I feel like I can't have another person do those roles, because that would hurt my own soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I take super pride in that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that happened.
Same. Yeah, miscarriage is very tough, for sure.
Life happens.
It's true.
You guys were not expecting these answers from me. I can already tell.
It's kind of hard to respond because it's like you don't want to, you don't want to joke about it. You kind of want to be respectful. So I'm sorry we're not. I don't know.
No, it's like everyone that's ever trying to talk to me is just like, I bet he's super mysterious. And I just finally tell them, they're like, oh, we did not expect this. Wow. This is scary. I guess
It's not scary. It's just, you don't want to take it lightly when someone kind of opens up like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know. It just kind of makes me laugh where people are just building up in their heads like, oh, here comes B. He's got all this stuff that we just have theories about, and I just make the theories deflate because I'm an asshole.
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that either. But...
If you want me to ask another question, I do have one. It's on a slightly different topic, but
Ask away.
I was gonna. Awesome. Do you have like any pieces of media, like movies, video games, books, anything like that like inspired you creatively, or like things like that? If that question makes sense.
It does. I would kiss your face if I could.
Mwah.
The main inspiration I keep telling people that I feel like they keep ignoring, even though I put it straight in their face. Count of Monte Cristo. I've stated this numerous times, and I'll state this until the day I die. It is one of my favorite books that I've ever read since I was 6. It'll be my favorite book till the day I die. There's so many beautiful themes about that story, where not only is it the perfect revenge tale, it's also the best tale about redemption, revival, identity, and clarity. There is so much beauty in that story alone, even though it's set in the Napoleon French era, that it's so overlooked by people just saying it's a perfect revenge tale. That's all the themes to it. But there's more to those layers. There's more to what Alexandre Dumas made for that tale to be so compelling, so beautiful, so grasping, to where that's where my writing goes today, and like my bigger productions. I want people to understand there's more than just the top layer to things, where they have to really dig to understand throughout all of the themings, all the characters, all of the motifs, all of the just... I can't even go into all the words I want to say, because that's how much the story means to me and how much I want my own tales, as obscure as they might be to others, to feel like to others.
And I have that added to my wish list on Amazon. I need to give that a read when I can get the time.
I mean, I could just do an audiobook for you as like a Christmas gift. I don't know.
An audiobook is a lot of work, though, to be fair. I've had dreams of doing audiobook work myself, but I know it takes a lot of work.
I don't care, Chloe. You, Nia, DS Hooves, Lil, Andy, I think, PG, like, y'all are worth it to do extra work. If I were just like, I'll do an audiobook for y'all, whatever book you want, I don't care. Y'all are worth it.
Oh, that's really sweet.
I'll have to keep that in mind if I can ever get my nose in a book these days. No, that's a really good answer.
They're the only answers I have. I would give you bullshit, but my pockets are filled. Filled with what you might be asking? Tacos.
Tacos do sound pretty good.
Me too.
What's your favorite kind of food? I kind of spat take at that answer. Because that's kind of my answer about food.
I'm a giant foodie. I can't just pick one. It's a curse.
I can understand.
Everyone wants to be like, let's go to this one restaurant. Where do you want to go? Yes. That's not an answer, sir. No, it is the answer.
Food is pretty great. Can you give like a top 3?
All right. Number 1, I would have to say it's this fusion of linguine with Cajun gumbo. Like the perfect marriage of Italian cuisine with Cajun cooking. Très magnifique. Number 2, my buddy Julian's abuelita's homemade surf and turf enchiladas with super stuffed turkey surprised enchiladas. I don't know what she put in it, but it tastes like heaven. With the same anger as a tiny Puerto Rican woman that just wants everyone to eat the food and shut the hell up. And I mean, like, this lady is 4'9", can still beat me with her chancleta if I don't take my shoes off by just saying, I wanted to pop in my head to say hi. I'll just be in the doorway. She'll beat me with that chancleta saying, take your shoes off! It's like, but I'm outside, abuela, why? And last but not least, at number 3, strawberry cheesecake.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
To this day, I'm still mad at my ex-wife because she promised me cheesecake on my birthday. All she gave me was a...
Oh man. Oh, got the giggles.
So I take it y'all ran out of questions to ask me at this time.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, just gonna take my mics back. There we go. There's gum on one of these. Anyway.
Sorry.
Anywho, we're gonna jump into not the rest of the shitload of questions that the ladies typed up because they're just like, okay, he's gonna be talking like one person he was gonna collab with a long time ago and one person that he has like the biggest entertainment crush on. We gotta make sure he has a shitload of questions. I'm like, no, ladies, no. Just calm down.
Well, I'm just glad they were able to make sure you were prepared. You know,
Mhm.
you can't
Oh.
be too prepared.
Oh, they always keep
Can't-
me prepared. I'm just like, yes, just make sure I don't end up going in an interview without any pants on.
That's pretty important.
Like, it's just random. I'll just be sitting here in my boxers. Y'all just be like, so where are your pants? See, answer to that question. I don't know. In any
We'd
event,
help you
though.
find them anyway. We'd help you find them. One way or another. They have to be somewhere close.
I will pretend to believe that. Anyway, next to last question I'm going to be asking today. Sorry, I've been sparking up all fucking interview. If you guys could fix one small thing about your current predicaments with the entertainment industry, what would it be and why? As I hit something on my desk.
Well, I guess for me it would be excuse me, sorry. I've been doing too much laughing, but I think if there could be anything I could change or whatever change, um, I guess it would be for it would be for the casting of POC and by POCs to be something that is more um, reoccurring rather than trending. I would love for it to be um, something that is continuing to be more recognized and for people like me to also be able to have more opportunities and um, to be able to break out into entertainment, VA, and sorts of like that. I just if I could change anything or if I could see something be doing better is for more and more of our voices to be seen because there are so many. There are a lot of people that I've seen even in VA or, VA is just starting or maybe they've been around for a while and they are POCs. And I just wish that uh, the group as a whole could continue to be put be seen and given the opportunity to be in more projects and stuff like that. That's like so important to me because it is something that I experience all the time every day. And just for it to continually um, for these issues to be at the forefront of everyone's minds, considering that would be the only thing that I could ever wish and want for as far as entertainment is concerned.
I not to kind of agree and definitely say like definitely giving people more opportunities and just kind of having more of a you know more of a focus on letting everyone have a voice and, that kind of thing. I definitely agree with that. You worded it way better, so I apologize. I'm not trying to one up that statement or anything, but like along with that, like just giving people opportunities, giving everyone a voice, taking more risks, being more creative, try to avoid all of this focus on like what's the word I'm looking for? Like I said, just taking more risks, just trying to push, giving everyone a voice and just really kind of promoting creativity. And when it comes to the casting decisions, I think it's very important that, the right voice is cast, because in some situations, like professional or, you know, uh, I hate to say it, amateur side of things, like there shouldn't be so much of a focus about a popularity contest. I
Mhm.
absolutely, that stuff
Mhm.
just boils my blood. Um, I think it's important to find the right fit for the character, no matter what. And
Mhm.
um but like Nia said, just giving everybody an opportunity, giving everybody a voice. I think that that's extremely important, and having a better representation of the people,
Right.
in this world, because everybody's different. Everybody's got a different voice, and
Right.
everything. So
Right. And just to piggyback off that too, just like I would love to see more things, whether it's even, even if it's in audios or in visual work. I just kind of to go off what you said too with the representation. I just would love to see more things that are created that reflect different people and their experiences. Because that's one thing I always do say is that, I mean, you can't know the struggles or the beauties of someone else's life and their culture unless you take that moment to really sit down and listen to their experiences. And as far as like even in audios, excuse me, in audio role plays, like even I create, there's lots of people who feel like they aren't represented in these audios, and that's very important to me because I see it and I hear it. And so I think it's very important too for people who are writing this content or who are creating this content to always remember that there are a variety of different listeners, and that it's okay to figure out and find out ways to talk to people, to find out how you can connect with different types of people instead of
hmm
always doing things the same way every single time.
hmm beautifully said. I'm sorry that my answers are not nearly as good as your as
Oh
yours,
no,
but
your answers are
100%.
just as valid. I mean, everything, like just this whole piece is a very important thing for people to listen to, um, as far as creating content, because there a lot of content that I see, especially in audio role plays, is not very inclusive to people of all different backgrounds, and which there are groups of people who are looking for that, and more people should be aspiring to create things that everyone can enjoy, at least at some point.
hmm Exactly.
What's funny is that actually goes into the final question, but I don't even know if I want to ask it now.
Oh, I'm
I have
sorry, you cut
no
out for
idea.
me.
Yeah, I have no idea if the call's dropping or what's going on, but you kind of cut out.
I was saying it's funny that all that was brought up because it's kind of going into like the final question, but I also feel like I don't know if I want to ask the final question now because I don't want to risk you guys repeating yourselves. But I also want to ask it because it's a big topic I like to cover, so I'm caught in the middle of my own logic loop. Um,
We'll try to make the answer not as the same. We'll try.
okay, well, um, shot in the dark for a lot of people. They're just like, Oh, this is gonna be so good. For those of you guys that are new, I am not a white person. Shocking, I know, because when many people first hear my voice, they're just automatically like, "You sound so proper." Not like, don't finish that statement, Ted. I've heard it all before. So, as someone that is a minority, and like what Nia's covered before, a representation has been one of the biggest things and one of the biggest struggles for a lot of different people, because it is a lot to do where you have to work 3 times, if not 5 times, as hard as most people beside you, because it feels like there's a huge disadvantage. However, a lot of people are trying to make better strides currently, where it's more talks opened up, more events opening up, more opportunities being brought in, but not in the capacity that people are desiring because of certain people misunderstanding what the fight is for. Which is why I always ask this question to all of my guests over, in hypothetically, let's say the next 4 years, where do you see these talks developing to where it's going to be either a better playing field, a worse playing field, the same old, same old? Where do you two believe, like, where these discussions are going to for this topic, and why?
I don't know if you want to answer first, Nia,
Oh,
but
I mean, it's fine. If you would like to go first, that's fine, or not. If not, I can. I don't want to feel like I'm always jumping at the question.
no. I feel like my answer might not be as good, but I kind of feel like that the change, the progression of it being an equal playing field is definitely more on the positive swing. 'Cause I mean, just looking at how, culture has gotten better about accepting others and, encouraging that voice to be heard, I feel like it's on a good track. So I mean, that's just kind of my general answer. But I hope your turn, Nia.
Well, I will just have to answer this question solely based on entertainment only, because there are a lot of events currently going on in this world right now that I have lots of opinions on, but just to stay focused on this particular one when it comes to POCs or even minorities and voice acting, I feel like that I feel that I'm happy that people are listening to the experiences of their counterparts, because like I said before, it's a lot about not being so selfish. It's about opening up your mind to figuring out why people are saying what they're saying, and figuring out how we can, as a community, resolve these issues where we're talking about the plights of our BIPOC counterparts. I think that the conversation is in a good place, and I, of course, would love to see more. I would love to see people actually learning from each other, and opening up their minds to certain things. And I just hope that I can only hope that these conversations continue to happen, and that they are not just conversations that are being had now because it's cool to say, you know what I'm saying, or it's a
Mhm.
hashtag to say. I just would hope that the energy that people are currently having now with the current events that are going on in the world, that they will continue to push forward for their POC counterparts as they are now. I just would really hope that they do continue to keep that energy.
Mhm. And like you said, the whole topic of it being trending, it needs to be from a genuine place rather it being just because, it's the hip thing to do. It needs to be for the cause of, you know, having that
Right,
equality.
right, right, right.
Agreed on that. And everything else with that. So,
It is a topic that I do feel very strongly about. Of course, being Black and Hispanic, um, it is something that I am very passionate about, and so that I just uh, watch and see how things are going, and how people react and how people respond to certain things, and um, just kind of playing it all by ear, I guess. But I'm hoping that everything definitely turns out for the better. I've been finding a lot more of my, you know, more people who are like me in this space recently, because of all the shine that has been on voices, different voices, and I'm very appreciative of that, because it can feel like a very lonely space in this work as a person of color. It can feel that way sometimes. So I am just happy to be able to see that there are more people out there who are like me, that are put in the work and are very talented. And
That's
that's it.
always a beautiful thing to not only state, but just. I don't know why I love asking this question the most. I just really enjoy hearing everyone's perspective on everything. It's just very nice. But I also understand where certain people at this point where they're kind of sick of me asking this question for certain reasons. But I'm also like, it's something that needs to be talked about and isn't fully talked about in all the capacities that it should. I don't know. I'm weird. Maybe I'm just getting too odd the older I get, or maybe I'm trying to get too in touch with myself. I don't know. I just really want this conversation to really take off more in different directions than just we're gonna just talk about it and see what happens. Like I want to see actual results.
Hmm.
Hmm. It's not a bad
Right.
question. It's not odd at all. I mean, it needs to be discussed, and I don't see any problem with the question.
Right. And I really agree with you about the results part, because there is a lot of talking about different things and what ifs and this and that's, and um, yes, results is the thing that is, I think, that the focus is on at this point as well.
In the end,
Yeah.
that's what we all want.
Yeah. And since I'm not gonna ask any more from this giant mountain of questions, like seriously, what the is up with this? I'm gonna stop here with the questions, cause one, I just really had too much fun to where my own face is tired from smiling. Like every time I had to mute the mic to just hear these two amazing people talk, I was smiling to where my face now hurts.
I am not responsible for any muscular damage to the faces. I am not responsible.
And two, I don't. Well, anyone that knows me knows I don't like holding people hostage. So I want to make sure that I thank my lovely guests today of Chloe Angel and Miss Nia, where you guys can get all of their socials and all of their other business links in the description below for our YouTube. But if you're hearing this on Spotify, one, this is the censored version, baby. You want the whole raw, dirty feel, go to the YouTube for all the links, because I can't put this shit on Spotify. I've tried. It don't work. But if you imagine that there's a description there, you can click there. And when you're done imagining, just go to the YouTube. It's fine. And for my own studio, or one of them, it's still weird for me to finally say out loud. Um, all descriptions for all stuff is just littered everywhere for the main page. We also stream like 6 days a week, with one day being for VODs. And a bunch of other stuff on the horizon for our social media stuff starting in June. And for anyone that's wondering, but you promised that you'd talk to us about something special. I am, because I was saving this for when I was doing an episode with either Nia and Chloe, or when I was doing something with either Bordeaux or Pretty Girl Diaries. I don't remember which one I was saving it for. Mind is weird, man. But I am trying to, as of now, get something prepared to where I'm only going to be hiring not safe for work artists for something that's both safe for work and not safe for work, that's going to be for Spotify, the censored version, with an uncensored version on, I would say, the fans of Only, the hub of Prawn, and Newgrounds, where you guys get the uncensored version there, where I'm already eyeing stuff where Nia is going to be one of the main protagonists, with Chloe also in the production, with a bunch of other people I already have my eye on, but I'm still going to be scouting out for, because I'm tired of people saying that not safe for work people aren't acting, when this is acting. To do what these people do is acting on the same caliber as someone that's in a giant animated series or in this big movie with Warner Bros. Or Nickelodeon or whoever the fuck Harvey Weinstein didn't have sex with back in the 80s. Every single person has the same acting chops, and I want to pull it to the forefront to where people can stop saying that whole bullshit about if you do not safe for work stuff, you're not an actor or actress. I'm tired of that whole talk where I want to put the money where the mouth is. So, keep an eye out for that, because y'all know me. When I put my mind to something, I do it. Before we close out, do you ladies have anything you want to say? Because I don't want to be a horrible gentleman.
Well, thank you so much for, I think I can speak for the both of us when I say, thank you so much for, bringing us together and having, this talk with you. I really enjoyed it, and, just spending time with you, with Chloe, and, exploring some of these topics, I think were pretty amazing, I think. So thank you. Thank you for listening to me ramble.
You weren't rambling. But yeah, thank you very much for taking the time to interview us both, and for having us together. We hope we weren't too rambunctious with our little moment there, but yeah, I mean, these were great questions and great topics to talk about, and I hope this.
No, you guys were great. You're some of the best guests I'm gonna have before we look for a new host for this show.
Well, I think you're doing a good job as the host.
Anyway, so I don't talk about this publicly yet. I've been... y'all know who I be at this point. And these have been my lovely guests of Chloe Angel and MissNiaSax, and we will see you guys in our collective ventures later. Have a good day, night, or evening, and don't do drugs. Unless it's weed, because that's not a drug. That's an herb. But don't tell your parents I said so. Or tell your parents. I don't care. I'm not your parent. I'm not responsible for what you do. But don't do drugs.
Love is love, and love everybody.
Yes.
Unless your name is Ted.
Oh no, poor Teds. And poor Teds.